aspen trees out in the other area. So let's take a look at this one first. This was basically nothing. It was that little teeny stick when I first filmed this. Look at it now. It has branched out. It was that one teeny small stick on the outside of the fence, and the other one is right there, which we'll get to. But when I started the filming of all these, let's take it to the other side where it's a little clearer. It was one large stick. So if I go over here, look at how much and how large it is if I put it on 0.5. You can see all the sprouts around it, but look how much the stick or the tree has increased in trunk diameter there. How large. And that's why when we started the filming, it was leaning pretty quite bad. I don't know if I filmed it, but it was leaning real bad now. It's still leaning in the wind, but it's straightening itself out still, and it's just really windy right now. So it's actually really straight now, and it did it all on its own. I never even staked it. Look at that thing. The wind is even ripping on it. It's still holding up. Before, it was actually so bent that it was protruding this far into the gate. I mean, it was horrendous. I thought I'd have to cut it down. It was so bad. But the trunk quickly widened up, I think probably in response to that. And it fixed. So there's the big tree. We'll get to that. But it fixed, and there's a bunch of sprouts around it. I'm just letting this thing do its thing. I want it to be a wild flipping thing. Because when I need to, I can come in and cut it all down. But I want to leave this. It's kind of, this tree needs a prune around the wires. I don't know how I'm going to get up there. But, because no one will do that here. Like this tree here, you can see, look at how it was growing into the wires and they all cut that off. But the owners did that, not the power company. So with this one, it'd get big and then we'd have to like lop off half the side. But this one I need to get up and do that with. I don't know how, but just lop off the ends of the tips there in the branches and we'll be good to go. But anyway, that's this. This thing holds up well now. And it's got no stakes on it whatsoever because it doesn't need them. It's grown out of the base of a cut down tree. So it's not a new tree. Look how the base down there, and it kind of just covers it in. I love the look of it. I might be weird for that, but I like to use every natural thing. I don't have to water them ever like you would a typical normal small baby tree because, well, it waters itself. It's connected. The root systems of these large trees that was cut down years ago. So we're just going to see how it does. But it looks really cool. It looks like a diamond shape. It's large. And it comes up to like a diamond tip up there at the top. Quite a nice look. I hear someone screaming. Just ignore that. Here I'm going to let these aspen sticks grow too. It looks like they got a little bit knocked down with that storm there that blew through. But anyway, to the trees now. Here is the small stick first. When I call it sticks, I mean that this spring it looked like one singular stem. And look at all the limbs it has put on. And the length of the limbs is quite insane. Look at this. Some of these limbs, that top limb, from there up is a brand new limb. And it's gonna, guys, they're touching, I know. We're just gonna find out what happens in the future with them. One of them is gonna take the other one over. But I'm gonna remove whatever side is gonna compete with this tree because that limb's coming out eventually. It's so low. It's gonna come out. So they'll have just enough room to get tight against each other. I've seen trees like this. When they get older, they almost go together. It's crazy. But anyway, for now, that's long out of the problem. This was a limb that was produced last year. Like, I don't know, the mutation, it produced one randomly. And you can see a lot larger than the rest of the tree. But it does add, and these leaves on aspens is normal for the inner leaves to look really horrible at this time of year, but it still looks quite nice. Look how large it is now. I mean, man. They don't need any pruning either. I'm gonna let them go how they go, and just see what. I'm kind of curious to see how these two trees are whatever's gonna happen to these in the long future. The most likely thing that's gonna happen is this one here is gonna be it's gonna be so long before the trunks touching is gonna be an issue. So what's gonna happen with this is when it starts to grow through this tree, I'm gonna remove limbs off this and give this tree the right of way, technically. We're just gonna see what happens. Because this one will take off there and it'll probably produce a long trunk and that'll make it skinnier. And then this tree here, which fell over, is still growing back. You can see the inner leaves on all these are looking like this, but that's just the natural part of an aspen tree. In the fall, they do look quite like that. And even here, you can see it's the same type of thing in the inner leaves there. But yeah, that's the quick tree update. Look at that. That one is amazing there. I'm going to make sure that one doesn't get ruined. This one here, that one has the technical right of way in my mind. It's gonna get the best of it. This one, it's just fun to watch how close. This one came up as a small stem, just like this, last year. Although this one didn't grow much, so I will be lopping that out of there. But they came up just like that. Now look how large the trunk is. And the only reason I left it is because I wanted to watch it grow, even though it is abnormally close to the tree. If there was one over here, that'd be even better. But we get what we get, and we don't throw a fit. I mean, look at the buds it's producing on that stem. It's got a nice top healthy bud. So we might see some activity on that one. But that is about it for the trees, really. This one here, I mean, it's looking great too. It did fall, but these ones are looking nice. The 2 sticks is the main thing. The 2 stems is the main thing I wanted to kind of talk about today, because this one over here is amazing. Look at that thing. And that was just, I mean, all the growths it put on to make it how it looks there. Look at the top of that plant. Look at all the new growth stems and how thick, how sheer thick that bottom growth stem is. And I'm gonna make a video of this in the winter. I wanna see what it did to the stems around it, if it ate them or, you know, because I know when trees grow near other stems and it cuts into them, they'll start to form over them and kind of like eat them. So we'll see what that one did. But yeah, that is pretty much an update of the trees here in the area. We do have a lot of growth on. None of these trees are perfectly, they're healthy, but none of them are pruned exactly correct because of how this area was. This tree over here was immediately removed upon the doing of this roof because of how close it was to the wire. It was going through the wire about half the tree, and you can even see where it kind of tore some down. So that's what that tree looks like now. Almost looks like a shrub, but it does provide some nice green, and that's all it's really here for. So yeah, it's really nice and green. That is a crazy wild jungle type tree. But see, the issue with doing anything like this to trees when it's done, which is called topping, is that when they produce limbs, they're not very tightly attached. And the following happens. You get danglies. If you like decorations, you'd like it. These were huge. These bushes were out to the grass. They were out to about here. And I took them back just to do it because they were too large, and they're producing round stems. So I can let these ones come up now since it's a little more of a controlled height. I'll let these stems grow in. As look, I mean, it was all the way out into the grass area. So this is enough length here, and we'll let these stems grow. And eventually when they do, I'll cut the inner stems out and it'll be a new bush. As the inner stems are, the only reason I let these grow this year is because look at the stems I left. Yeah. So we're gonna let them ones come up and help feed the root system before the top dies and kills the root system. This is gonna help feed it and energize it. I could probably even take out a little notch here of limbs, and we'll just see how that works. But that's how that's looking now, and over here as well. I'm gonna probably even remove more of these and maybe just let in some new ones there. And we'll get the weed eater over here and get going and like just rounding that out because it doesn't look very even at the moment. I could probably take them all back and try it again as they don't look too well there. I think it's because the top could be doing a little better on this plant there than this one. So this one's gonna do its thing there. That's about it for the trees. So yeah, I think we are getting ready for fall over here. So we will definitely make a tree video over here come fall. There's gonna be lots of leaves and everything after these large trees lose all their leaves. So see you guys in the next video.